afternoon. I want to come on real quick, do this afternoon lunch breaking news thing and talk about the crisis here in the country, but also what's going on here in the city of Yonkers and how is the border crisis specifically affecting the city of Yonkers. Let's talk about it. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. The border crisis is getting out of hand. I want to talk about that. What impacts is it having on the country, but also our state and here locally, right? It's having several impacts, I believe, here in our communities. I mean, I'm seeing this, as I go through the town, especially as I'm more near the downtown area. Some of the things that I've been seeing recently is very, just horrible. It's horrible, to have to see this. And I want to show some stuff here that I saw. Someone sent this to me, actually. And this is a woman who is preparing a needle to shoot up. And I just thought this was crazy that we're starting to see this here in the city of Yonkers. And this is happening everywhere. So this is happening all across the country. We're seeing other cities that are, bad with this stuff. People just sleeping and sitting along streets, some of them using drugs right in broad daylight. And so what is going on? What's happening? Why are we seeing this increase in drug abuse and in front of your face in broad daylight? It's getting crazy. And just even the quality of life. Someone did this too. This car actually was involved, I guess, in a hit and run. And this has happened to me several times. So this is not a, fun thing to have to deal with. This car was hit by someone and it's been there for a while. The person, the owner of the car, is waiting for the insurance company to come take a look at it. But I noticed yesterday that they had put a Mike Spano sign there at the tire. I thought that was funny. But these are the scenes that we're seeing here in the city of Yonkers. What's going on? I want to talk about the border crisis and show some of the stuff that I have shared in regards to the border.
Maximum security prisoners no longer a conspiracy theory. You're about to see the proof. And it's funny how some of the videos of the immigrants that were crossing.
So the person in this video is saying that basically, and I thought about this actually, I was wondering if this was something that could be happening. What they're saying in this video is that they're showing proof or evidence that a lot of the migrants that are coming over are people that were released from prisons in other countries. And this happened, during the 1980s with the Cuban, I forgot what it's called, when they came over on boats. There was this mass migration from Cuba. People were coming on all kinds of rafts and boats and anything that would float. And a lot of them that were coming here were prisoners and criminals that were released from the jails in Cuba. Fidel Castro just opened up the prison and said, go ahead, go to America. And so we got a lot of criminals in that boat lift, the Mariana boat lift, I believe it was called. So this woman here is saying that this is exactly what's happening now.
The border said that the Biden administration were the ones promising them food and a home here in the United States. There's a lot of questions that we have, especially in New York, where the violence is an everyday thing. Take a look at
every single prison that they have has been emptied out. And they literally put these guys, the Mexican government helped them. They let them get on their trains and moved them all up here. And then they stopped the train system. That's so that they couldn't return home. So New York, I told you, you're getting 60,000 of these guys, and they just came from prison.
So, I mean, is that true? Many of these, migrants that are coming here, prisoners that have been released from these prisons, are they being properly vetted? I don't think so. There's videos from the border showing people coming through, Border Patrol allowing them to just come on through, and once they come here, they just run wherever they want to go. And there are other videos showing them of waiting in line, getting ready to board a bus. and someone with the person with the video camera is asking them where they're going, and they're saying Chicago, 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 Denver, Denver, New York, New York, Chicago. It's almost in systematic fashion that this is organized, and they're telling them where to go. Okay, you guys are going to go to Chicago, you guys are going to go to New York, you're going to go to Denver, right? You're going to go to California. So is this what's happening? I mean, where are the buses coming from? Who's paying for the buses? Why is it that Border Patrol is actually opening up? They're literally opening up the gates, cutting the barbed wire at the border to allow people to come through. Why are they doing this? So I want to show some more video here. This is crazy. So it's like a mad dash to come into the United States, right?
Oh, this border crisis? You guys have to peep what I just came across. This border crisis is now turned into a criminal crisis. Check out what these people are doing once they've entered America. And why, how come the news ain't covering this? Peep this though, y'all. This is wild.
Take a look, everyone, at this story that is happening right now. This is a big deal, possible game changer in the way people are thinking about the southern border. According to the Oakland County, Michigan Sheriff, there are gangs of people targeting homes and burglaries. The gangs, they're from South America. The sheriff calling for stricter border enforcement because he says gangs from South America are coming to Michigan, breaking into homes, a lot of homes, stealing a lot of cash.
So crime has been increasing, and the
a part of it. New York, New York. Your vagabond shoes.
what is going on?
They are longing to stray
So Joe Biden's got to go.
around the heart of it.
That's unreal. Joe Biden's got to go. And so how is it impacting us here in the city of Yonkers in the state of New York? Well, homelessness. Many of the migrants that are coming here really have no place to go. Some are being put up in hotels, but very recently, New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced that anyone that's single, specifically males, are going to be evicted from the hotels. So where they're going to go? Out into the street. They're going to wander. And we're not too far from New York City. So what's going to happen after the elections? We need to get some kind of, commitment from all of the candidates that they're going to work hard to ensure that we do not get this mass wave of migrants, or that they begin to accept migrants into the city of Yonkers now that the elections are over, right? That's my concern. We go to Elm Street, you go to Nodine Hill, you see a lot of individuals homeless outside, sleeping, congregating in areas, living there, putting up plastics to protect them from the rain, have all kinds of seat cushions and stuff, food lying around. This is getting worse and worse and worse. So the homelessness problem is being impacted most definitely by this border crisis. So we're just going to see more people on the street. Drug abuse, as you see there, the woman, getting ready to shoot up right there in front of the Castle Royale here in the city of Yonkers. And this is crazy. I've seen this too many times now. People wandering on drugs, leaning on walls in the downtown area near Getty Square, and even over by the pier, by the waterfront. There's supposed to be luxury rentals over there. So what's going to happen? Because it doesn't seem like this is going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, it's starting to increase. And I can tell that a lot of the people that are here, that are homeless, that are abusing the drugs, they don't seem to be people that are originally from Yonkers. It looks like we're getting people coming from outside of Yonkers to the downtown area to buy drugs and to abuse drugs there, and they're remaining there. So it's definitely increasing the drug problem that we see here in the city of Yonkers. You got people panhandling in front of the banks, making it unsafe for people over there in Getty Square. You got people on drugs dancing in front of Getty Square, in front of other businesses. People just wandering all around Nodine Hill area that goes into the pier, the waterfront area. We see it by the post office. You see panhandling right in front of the post office. You have guys there sitting there Indian style with signs, right? With signs asking for money, and they're there all the time. They're getting to know the people that go in and out the post office. They're calling them by name and stuff. And these people are just using this money to go and purchase this fentanyl, heroin, and other drugs that have them wandering around like zombies throughout this, downtown area, south and southwest side. It's getting bad. And a lot of that's because of the border crisis. What do you think is also coming through that border? If there's a mess like that, those people running in with backpacks, what do you think they may have in those backpacks at times? I'm sure it could be bundles of heroin, bundles of fentanyl. So you have more drugs coming into this country as a result of a crappy border policy by Joe Biden and these Democrats. And although I'm a Democrat, I really don't care. First, I'm an American. We all American first. We're not Republican first. We're not Democrats first. We are Americans first, and we need to start thinking like Americans and start questioning more what's happening here, why they're allowing this to happen at the border, why they're looking to destroy this country. Crime is up. Don't let them fool you. Crime is up everywhere. Absolutely. And crime is up here in the city of Yonkers. Some say by 66%. Crimes and car thefts, catalytic converters, store thefts, right? Home invasions. Someone that I know, someone very well known, actually, a family member of theirs, car got stolen from in front of their house. And this is in a neighborhood that, you wouldn't expect that. But it happened very recently. And I think some people were looking to try and steal my car not that long ago. So be careful. Keep your doors locked. Even if the car is in the driveway, make sure you lock your doors in your homes. Try to have your packages left somewhere discreet. It's getting bad out there with thefts of all kinds, specifically to cars. And again, this is, individuals that are coming up, as you see in that video, are prisoners being released and allowed to enter the United States, are criminal gangs coming into the United States to commit crimes. Of course, we're going to see this happening. All right. It's not to generalize all people, but we can only do so much. And it's not just white people that are frustrated. This is not a racial thing. You see African Americans, you see Hispanic, Latinos. We're all frustrated with this. All us Americans are frustrated with this. What is going on? It's deteriorating the quality of life. Another issue that's being impacted. Children in Nodine Hill, in that area, have to walk through some of the most, horrible scenes. It's just, it's crazy. Just people on drugs, people shooting up, people selling drugs, people homeless, migrants out there just hanging out, drinking beers most of the day. Some of them sleeping, some of them drunk, passed out there, food all over the place. Like, what is going on? We have to have some kind of, answer to this. We have to address this, even if you have to have people there, police there all day saying, hey, you can't be out here loitering. You got to keep it moving. You can't just post up here. You can't create some kind of encampment here. You have to keep it moving. Don't throw your food out on the floor. There's garbages, put it in the garbage. Keep things clean. If you see someone addicted to drugs and they're just spinning in circles, in the middle of the street, call an ambulance. Let's get them taken to a hospital. Let's do something with it, but let's just not leave it like that. It's getting bad. It's getting like the 80s and the 70s out here. You got abandoned cars. You got people wandering on drugs. You got drug dealing in the broad daylight, drug use in broad daylight. That girl's 30-something years old, young girl, getting ready to shoot up in broad daylight on a corner where many kids pass through, as well as school buses. They do a lot of political events in that place there. Politicians are in there all the time, the Democrats specifically, and that's what's happening right there. That is saying a lot. That's saying a lot. And our education. What about the quality of the education? We are going to be seeing, and already have seen, migrant children enter the school systems, right? That's going to impact the quality of the education, as teachers now have to deal with this. They have to deal with dual languages. The problem is that majority of kids speak English. So how can they expect them to learn in a dual language type of setting? It's becoming difficult. It's taken away from American children of all colors, specifically those who are living at or below the poverty line, those who are attending the public schools. So if you're a child that's attending public schools, you have to be concerned with this. You have to be aware of the impacts that it can have to an already crowded school system, right? And a school system that's already in dire need of a lot. And now we're taking on even more strain on this system by having kids being enrolled here that don't even speak the language. They are unsure where to be placed. And again, I deal with the children, so I see, some of them are not placed properly. Okay, so we have to figure this out. We have to get someone in there to start saying, okay, how can we evaluate these kids? How can we then put them somewhere where they can learn, right, and not impact the quality of the education of the other students who are speaking in English, right, who are on grade level, right? We have to figure this out because a lot of kids are being are suffering as a result of this, right? And kids are just getting passed along. And I would only imagine, again, if we don't have a commitment from our elected officials who are seeking our votes this November, that we will not see an influx of migrants, and that they will address a lot of these issues, these concerns that I'm seeing and other people are seeing. Then maybe we shouldn't vote for you guys, right? We need a commitment that after the elections, we're not going to say, okay, bring in the buses. We want to get that federal money that's coming from the government, Joe Biden's money. So in order to do that, we have to bring in migrants or X amount of migrants. We have to try to create all these X amount of programs that they're doing because, we're already spending a lot of money. I wanted to talk about this $2.7 million that the city of Yonkers has spent, right, on grant money to organizations to try and deal with some of these things. But are they really doing this stuff? And I'm not saying all of them saying, because we're seeing an increase in this stuff. Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano today announced the city is alerting nearly 100 community-based organizations that they have been chosen to receive grant funding as part of its community development block grant program. In partnership with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, the city of Yonkers will award local organizations $2.7 million in its efforts to expand economic opportunities to low to moderate income Yonkers residents. And to the person that was concerned that, I might have sold out or that I was bought off, I didn't get a penny of any of this money. So no, I haven't received anything. I have not been bought off, I can promise you that, right? So I was not one of those people. Through our robust CDBG program, with the assistance of our federal partners, Yonkers organizations can better serve its clients, said Mayor Mike Spano. This year, a significant amount of funding will be granted to our youth and neighborhood organizations supporting academics, recreational facilities, and after-school services, enriching our residents' lives and setting them up for greater success. Thank you to our federal delegation for putting Yonkers first. The 2023 Yonkers CDBG program will fund 88 unique activities, 8 workforce development and business assistant activities, 22 activities in support of neighborhood facilities, upkeep of community gardens and recreational facilities, 37 youth programs, including academic support, recreation after school, summer and daycare programs, 18 activities supporting food pantries, senior programs, cultural, recreational, and services for the disabled. And that's cool and that's great. But the thing is, what I don't understand is that there's still kids on a waiting list for UPK program. There's still kids who are not, and I talk to the parents that are not getting funding for summer camps, right? They're trying to get some kind of award for that. But going back to UPK, there's a large number of kids on the list. So if there's this $2.7 million, how come there's still a waiting list of these kids, right? Why is that, right? Why they're not in UPK programming, right? And how do we filter some of these and vet some of these organizations and really see to it that they're spending the money wisely or how it's supposed to be spent, right? One of the organizations that got a lot of money, and this is a bigger one, right? They received a lot. I don't know, I'm not sure, but over $100,000 they received. But this is an organization that when I looked at their tax filings, they spent very little of the money that they received on the services and programs that they say they are offering or that they're providing to the community, right? They received one year, 2022, $19 million. $19 million. Out of that, less than $900,000 went to the programs and services that they provide to the community. 16 million of the 19 million, 16 million went to salaries, benefits, and other employee compensation. Went to expenses, $40,000 in traveling, although they do things here in Yonkers specifically and Oni, but why were they traveling $40,000? So we have to make sure that they're doing on what they said they're doing and that the money is being spent wisely and that things are actually changing and improving because, you go to areas in Yonkers and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Small businesses are being impacted. Again, I was up there in Nodine Hill. A small business had an issue with someone who just walked right in, who would not leave. You know, that hurts their business. If they have customers in there at that time, they can think twice about going into that business again. You know I stopped going to my barber because of the way this, Getty Square's gotten, right? A few times there's been stabbings literally in front of the door of where I used to get my hair cut. And this is not to knock the business, but this is to put it out there. So, hey, are the small businesses being helped? I mean, if you allow this to continue, people to loiter, this violence to happen in front of their businesses, that's not going to help their businesses. And, the Rangers, South Broadway bid, got a bunch of money, right? Remember the South Broadway bid? That was the one that were attacking the food vendor. They were harassing the food vendor. And then they were also harassing the woman at the park, the elderly woman being yelled at. It even pissed off Lorraine Lopez, right? So it had to be bad. And still they got all this money. But I thought they're supposed to be funded by the businesses. Why are they getting grant money to provide for cleanup service when you're already paying DPW guys to do that job and paying a lot of them overtime to do that job? That doesn't make sense. And what about the Rangers that were yelling at the woman over in Getty Square, about to get into a fight with her? Then when I stepped in to try and help the lady, the elderly woman, they started getting all buck with me. So what is it that you're really funding out here? So how is this money being spent? Let's vet these organizations right. Let's make sure most of that money is not going into the pockets of the people who are running them. All right, because that's what I see from tax filings, and I'll continue to check those out. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics. We need to clean up this place, man, because it's getting bad out there. And I'll continue to show videos to the people who says, oh, one person, because it's not.
Freddie wins.
There's a lot of questions going around. Make sure we're not, Folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I have not sold out. So if you got the information, let me know. Politic@Fred with gmail.com. Politic@Fred with gmail.com. You can remain anonymous. And by the way, I'm getting crazy emails. And like I said, you got to give me some kind of evidence, more, proof, because I'm getting so many emails from people who are trying to play games or, giving me misinformation, telling me about people's personal lives and saying that this person, had an affair or cheated with this person's girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So I can throw that out there and try and embarrass this individual. And, the people that are doing it are people that individual's family hooked up really well. So why would they try to throw that person under the bus? And they know who I'm talking about. And by the way, check out Anthony DiMaggio. He's going to be talking about the Paulie Agostino case situation. And I just want to correct myself. Dr. Rabadi did not clear Paul. He actually cleared Artie. I was supposed to say a name. He cleared the guy named, what was the pseudo name we were supposed to call? Charlie Bronson. Okay. Dr. Rabadi actually cleared the guy that we're going to be calling Charlie Bronson, but he was still let go. And then he was brought back. That's according to Paul Agostino. So I just wanted to correct that. I had said that Dr. Rabadi had cleared Paul, but it was actually the guy we're calling Charlie Bronson. Okay. And so I want to make sure I correct myself. And also I want to correct myself on Paul Agostino. He's technically still employed. They just put him on FMLA leave, which is a sick leave, but his sick days are up. So he's not making any more money because he has 0 days. And, they're not trying to bring him back. So, and they're going to try to push to fire him using an Article 72. Am I getting that right? 72. After now that he's, maxed out his sick days. So he's not getting any money. So that's his big beef. He went through an arbitration. He's waiting for a judgment on that so he can move on with his life. That's all he wants. Doesn't want to, have to go through anything else. He's very upset. He wants to, have a lot of things shot out there, but I don't want to do that again. Hopefully he can work out a situation there, and that's what it is on that. I just want to correct myself for the things that I said wrong. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. If you're more interested in that Paul Agostino situation, which is very similar to Anthony DiMaggio, he'll be talking about it on his podcast. Take care. Be blessed.